chairs at Spacebase by our good pals at Double Fine, who snuck this into our Steam accounts for no reason, apparently. It's built on the Buddha engine, apparently, which tells you to embrace nirvana and give up all your worldly possessions and blah, blah, blah. You can pick it up for $21.99 Canadian, $20.01 US, and if you live in Moon, Portugal, they don't quite have space money there. And it is a space station strategy game where you basically build out your space station, manage your crew, and stop them from going nuts and killing themselves, a la 2001: A Space Odyssey, minus the robots. So, of course, everything we throw our chairs at in space has to face our galactic chairquisition. 1 chair means that it's shit. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. And 4 chairs means that it's fucking awesome. We also have our categories of doom, mixed with working shiny sounds, controls, and fun. And this is a special review this week because we have 4 people. The 4th chair has opened up, and Sandy has sat on it, and it stabbed him right up the ass.
The 4th
so let's get started.
Giggity.
So let's get started. Ben, did it make with the working?
Mixed with the working, one thing I did notice in, if we scoot down here for the audio listeners, the requirements to make sure that you have a DirectX compatible sound card. Fortunately, after getting G-Lab-C up and running, that wasn't too much of an issue.
G-Lab-C OS, man. That's
right. No, I mean, it'll work with anything. Also, Pulse audio supplied. And here's something, put your pitchforks down, because I understand, yes, I went back and did my research, and aliens. No, 1.Z, that release, yeah, that was completely busted. But we're now up to 1.Z6, and they pretty much have almost everything sorted out. So, yeah. I mean, on the Ubuntu, Dual 770 octo-core box of business. I'm going to have to give this one 4 chairs, J-Man.
Yeah, no, I had thought I had, after Double Fine had stealth added this to my Steam library, I thought I had installed it, but apparently I didn't. So I gave this the business this morning. No issues on my Fedora 20 64-bit GTX 670 AMD 1090T powered box of By My Footness. So 4 chairs.
And for me, on the new PC with the AMD 8370E FX and the Asus Strix GTX 970, it ran out of the box, no problems. On my netbook here, with an AMD C30 APU, 2 gigs of RAM.
Wave it around some more, Pedro. And loosen your grip.
With the open source drivers, it also worked out of the box. So 4 chairs.
And for my octa-core AMD 6770, 1 terabyte, fucking on the Catalyst drivers, there was I had some issues with a lot of the graphics, but that's for the shiny and sounds. But the open source, it worked fine. And when I ran it on the SteamOS, which was the i7 first gen 670, it ran right out of the box on SteamOS. So I give it 3 chairs.
All right, so that's 3
I
chairs.
think there's a bit of a correction to the engine there from Empty.
The Buddha engine was Brutal Legend. This is
Moai.
the Moai engine. Moai engine. All right, correction. Good thing we're accountable. Unlike Pharonics. Shiny and sound.
You know, I would actually, for what it is, it does its job. And you got to look at a game for what it's supposed to do. You know, if I'm playing FERPs and it looks like ass, I'm like, that's 1 chair. But if I'm playing something that's SimCity in space, and that's kind of what it's trying to go for, that's what I'm going to grade it against. And I would actually have given this 3 chairs if it wasn't for that fucking seizure-inducing menu. Every time you clicked it, it's like, I don't need that every time, man. I did a lot of things in my past. Brain organ doesn't like that. Really, that really caused me physical pain. The sounds I didn't bother, because this is genuinely one of those games, like any type of resource management, sim type things, you just throw on the Slayer because that's only acceptable for games like this, with the possible exception of Inya. Like I said, I really wanted to give it the 3 chairs, but I got to give it 2 because of that seizure-inducing menu that you're constantly going to have in your face organ. J-Man?
See, I saw this visually as sort of a middle of the road. It's not fantastic. It certainly does have that Double Fine style that we're all sort of accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
By looking at this game, you can tell, yeah, this is a Double Fine game. It looks like The Cave. It looks like Brutal Legend. All the sort of character animation is very similar. The music reminds me of FTLs, except worse. You're going to be hearing this a lot from me about this game. Yeah. It's like FTL, but worse.
But
anyways, and so the music was meh. Everything else is middle of the road. I think 2 chairs is fair because it's meh. It's middle of the road. So
yeah,
P-Man.
Well, for me, I didn't hate the visuals. Granted, the menu thing got a bit of annoying, but after a while, I just tuned it out. I made sure to blink whenever I clicked on it.
Kind of like Nori.
Yeah, let's not go down that road.
Let's go down that road. So, how's your sex life, Pedro?
Actually doing pretty good. The entire game reminds me a lot of Theme Hospital from back in the 90s. It's got that very same feel to it, and much like Jordan said, the music has a bit of FTL. It really fits the space theme, but it is a bit more annoying than FTL's was. I actually really enjoyed FTL's music. This one, not so much, so 3 chairs.
Whoop, 3 chairs.
3 chairs.
And as for me, like I said, on the Catalyst drivers, the FGLX drivers, FGLRX drivers, the text was like either non-existent or it was garbled to begin with. Like the gameplay, like it reminded me of The Sims. They were just lacking the derp 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 derp, you know, like that aspect, because they had like the whole what was it? I don't want to do this, you know, like the facial expression things. And but the sound was it was okay. Like I'm only gonna give it 2 chairs.
All right, so that's 2 whole chairs for Shining Sounds. Next is Control. Ben, did you feel like you were in control?
Physical controls. It's really hard to cock that up on something like this. Keyboard organ worked.
Clickety click.
Gerbil. Click, point, click. No. Get out of that airlock. I don't care if you have a suit. No. Fuck your kids. Digging in that seizure-inducing submenu, like 4 deep. After you get over the seizure things, you just close your eyes like Nori does. And then you open it up. Then you, every time you want to build something, like this menu, submenu, there's a bed. Yes, all right. That's 1 bed. Then that's... Do that again. And I can tell you, that system, maybe if I could bind it and it was like, here, you do this, I want to build airlock here, and whatever, and 4 tiles and all that. But going into that mothering menu can eat a glorious bag of dicks. Seriously, that caused me to nope out of this game almost by itself. So what can I give it? I love you, Tim, but 2 chairs, best I can do.
Yeah, this game is like super unfinished. You can tell that fairly quickly. Yep. I agree with Ben. Like the menu system is completely. It is a bottleneck because you have to go 1, 2, every single fucking time. The other thing that kind of bothers me is you can't assign dedicated resources to do work. You have basically say X, Y, and Z needs to be done, and then you let it go, and then someone will do it with the relevant skill set. The controls really do remind me of FTL, but worse, because you can't micromanage it as you would a strategy game. All the various characters have all the various crew members have their various likes and dislikes and preferences, and a lot of them want to be bartenders. But here's the problem: you only need 1 bartender ever. Yeah. It's just a bit annoying.
Where's the prostitutes,
not being able to? Yeah, no, it's annoying not being able to assign resources, and you have to do it from a human perspective. I guess that sort of works. It's sort of flipping the existing paradigm on its head, but that existing paradigm is established and riffed on and used consistently for a reason, in that it lets you do what the fuck you actually want to do in the game. So I'm gonna give this 2 chairs because it's just bleh.
Yeah, and well, Jordan already said it. It is very much unfinished. I think, or I guess, that they were going to improve on the tutorial and the explanation and the ability to rebind keys when the game was finished properly. But they ran out of money and they said, nope, not gonna do it.
JK.
Nope. You guys bought early access? Okay, you can have it. It's finished. Here's the Lua code. You sort it out. So yeah, you can't rebind keys, but then again, the keyboard is basically just hotkeys in order to go directly into specific portions of the menu. It helps if you don't want to look and you don't want to have a seizure when looking at the screen. But yeah, the tutorial was not very good. It took me a while to actually figure out what they wanted me to do and how they wanted me to do it. So for me, 2 chairs.
I felt I was not in control, man. Like usually with a lot of these sims, there's set buttons and everything, like a right click or a left click with a lot of these sims that allow it easier, so you can be like, okay, go here, right click, like to do stuff. And I found that I had no control. I had to try to figure out these whole new sets, and they never explained like what buttons did what. And so I just found I had to like fucking fidget it with everything. It was driving me insane. Like, and like you said, Ven, like, I love Tim and the guys at Double Fine, but like the most I'm even remotely gonna give this is 2 chairs.
All right, so that's 2 chairs with controls. And now our final category, fun. Then, did you have fun?
It's Sims in space. That's never going to get old, is it? Honestly, I can't hate it, really. If I was stuck on an Island organ, I would take a game like this and a satellite phone. That said, my brain nopes at resource management games. Why, you ask? Well, other than it's because we consider that work, and we should be getting paid for it, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Nothing against Double Fine. This type of game just genuinely does not appeal to me, and maybe it's unfinished, maybe it's not. I can't tell. Best I could do is maybe 30 minutes into it. The tutorial is a bit like, what the hell's going on? Kind of agree with P-Man on that. Got past that, and it's very short, and it's like, here's a general idea of kind of how you fucking play it. Deal with it, fucker. And so for the fun, I've seen worse. I'll give this a 2 chairs, because, like I said, with that whole Island thing, if you have the time to reverse engineer how to play a fucking game without instructions, this is the one.
One thing I ran into with the tutorial was it's like, build an airlock in the dark blue room with 2 doors and a suit rack. So I did it. And it didn't let me go on to the next portion of the tutorial. So I just kept fucking around and playing the game as normal. One thing that really stuck out for me was, incoming space debris. Okay, take cover. Okay, what do? I go through all the menus. Well, apparently nothing. And then it hit. And then I'm like, I guess if like one guy was standing there, he would have died. But no one was. I don't know. This game again reminds me a lot of FTL, minus the exploration, the adventure, the high stakes, and the overall fun. And motherfucker, I don't care if you want to be a bartender. I need you to build oxygen recyclers, or I will jettison you out the airlock so that I have the oxygen I actually require. I do like the names they do give the crewmen, though. That was their one redeeming factor. Is they're all sort of like little pastiches off of existing sci-fi characters or writers or people involved, and it's like, oh, Will Wheaton, I'm sending you to die. So when all is said and done, I did not have fun playing this game at all. I'm gonna give this 1 chair.
Yeah. I guess that is basically the gist of it. It's not fun. I liked Theme Hospital back in the day. I loved it. It was one of those games that I kept reinstalling on every PC I had the chance to play on. It was fun. It was genuinely fun. And it was very clearly aiming to be sort of a callback to those days, those types of games. But in space. In the end, though, it ended up being a very, very boring FTL, borrowing Jordan's thing here, where instead of going on an epic adventure, you just micromanage a bunch of whiny little bitches. One chair.
I don't know what else I can add that everyone's already said. Like, this played like a Sims, but wanted to be faster than light. You know, like, there's only so much they could do. And, like, I sat there waiting to be able to do some the Sims nookie action. And I was like, fail. Nope, can't do that. And like Jordan said, like, I don't give a fuck what you want to do. Do your damn job. Like, I'm giving you a job, do it. Why aren't you doing it?
What could you possibly know about following orders?
Yeah, exactly. What would I possibly know? You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea. Like,
Sandy plays by no one's rules, not even his
I
own.
play by no one's rules. I'm a hipster. Just remember that. Hipster.
Rules are too mainstream, man.
So I'm
Tinker
giving it
Tailor
one,
hipster spy.
one fucking chair.
All right, so that is one share for fun. And if we tally up our 4-man gangbang of Double Fine, Spacebase, DF-9, we get 2 chairs because it worked and the video kind of worked and the controls kind of worked. So, I don't know. We've pretty much comprehensively covered this game. Does anyone have any final thoughts?
A little bit of final thoughts. I thought the roster thing was kind of interesting. It's an interesting mechanic, but yeah, the more I was talking about that, I mean, it does come back. It feels like they were trying something incredibly fuck-mothering ambitious, and that's not what we got. I mean, they wrapped up the end so it didn't fucking crash all the time, but we're not done with. I would love to have seen what they really planned out to do. That's really all I got to say about that. I mean, there was nothing new, mind-blowing. There was some Double Fine humor in there, but I was too busy dodging that fucking menu. Because apparently you can rebind keys, or you can't, or the hotkeys or something. Fucking nobody ever told me that. I don't have time to sit and press all the fucking keyboard organs. P-Man?
Yeah, you mentioned the roster thing. That's not new. There's an app. It's a mobile game called Tiny Tower that does that. You can assign citizens to their dream jobs, and you increase their productivity and the revenue.
Mobile game appcast. Brilliant.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I suppose Total Biscuit said it best. The game...
Plagiarism!
Yep. Thank you.
The game is working. There's just no content. There's nothing to give this game any sort of lifespan. And it's ruining Double Fine's sort of reputation, because one game out of their 30-something years in gaming, they made one shit game and everyone's giving them hell for it. That, to me, doesn't sound fair, but the game is not very good.
All
Well,
right. So on one final quick note,
it's the James Cameron problem.
would you
It's at the
pay
Mark
20
Lot.
wet stinky cashes for this, Sandman? Would you?
I did.
All right.
Yeah. That's
And
but,
how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
see, like, I love throwing money at Double Fine because they do, like Pedro said, they do a wonderful job with games.
Do you think your children
On the
organs could
whole-
get some use out of it?
No, no, my children will never get any use out of it. And but like, usually on the whole, Double Fine is on it. You know what I mean? Like, they they nail the games with their humor. Like they have everything, like even with the menu systems, like it's just this game seems like it's not them. Like it wasn't them making this game. And like they're just like literally giving it out to someone else, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna slap our name on it, you know, and now they're instantly regretting it, you know. Yeah, that's it. Just doesn't seem like them, and hopefully Massive Chalice will be better.
Well, you see, one quick final thought. Double Fine's strength tends to be in the RPG and the action games. This is something.
Yeah, story-driven games.
Story-driven games. This is something new where you're sort of supposed to create your own story. You're supposed to micromanage your crew and make sure they're happy and whatnot. Like Ben said, very ambitious. Could have used some more time in the oven, but they were hemorrhaging money.